my ball, bro. That's my ball. What are you talking about? Your ball? He called it his ball.
Well, look at that. DDG in fire. So if you don't know about the love triangle that's been going on between Duke, DDG, and India Love, allow me to explain a little bit. This all kind of started a few months ago when DDG invited India Love on his stream. Now, I know India Love is a popular influencer, but honestly, before this point, I didn't even know who India Love was. India Love kind of started popping like around like 2014, kind of the early era of the original Instagram models. And if y'all don't know, I'm 21. So in 2014, I was 10. And I ain't gonna lie, at that time, my biggest promise in life was if my dad bought me Go-Gurt and trying to convince my mom to let me play GTA. And India Love was nowhere on my radar. But I just said that to say, I feel like DDG inviting India Love on his stream had the same effect on a lot of people like me. I feel like a lot of people who watch DDG are probably around my age or maybe even younger. So if they were doing the same things as me, they probably didn't even know who this was. Because even though India Love was really popular back then, she kind of dove off a little bit. She wasn't as popular in a mainstream light as she once was. So whenever she got on this stream, it was like a second chance of life. It was her coming back into the light and introducing her to an entirely different audience. Now, honestly, India Love capitalized off of this opportunity perfectly. She started streaming a lot, and she gained an insane amount of followers and subs really quickly, which honestly, props to India Love. Can't fault her for that. I don't think the first stream really had a lot of romantic things in nature. It seemed like one of DDG's usual stream with a female stream, because a lot of streamers do this type of content. You know, dude gets with girls, they try to like raise them up or something like that. And usually they do pretty well, but it wasn't anything overly obvious. Of course, he threw his few subtle little things, but it just seemed like the regular in terms of content. Now, all of this got turned up a notch whenever India Love attended Streamer University. Obviously, she was invited by Kai to be a professor, which obviously Streamer University was like a huge deal. A ton of people got clips, a ton of people got a new level of popularity from it, so it ended up being good for everybody. And India Love was one of these people. But one big story that kind of came out of this was this like seemingly love triangle that was forming. And who was on the opposite end of the love triangle? Of course, the 6'3" demigod, Duke. Now, honestly, whenever these clips came out, it seemed like the attraction was really one-sided, to be honest. Duke didn't seem to care. He kept that cool, calm, nonchalant attitude that he has become to be pretty popular for. And DDG on the opposite side of the spectrum looked like he was trying his absolute hardest to win her over. Looking back at it, it's kind of crazy that Duke was almost able to pickpocket DDG's ball. Obviously, that ball terminology came from India Love. DDG even calling India Love his ball.
Hey, Duke, that's my ball, bro. That's my ball. What are you talking about? Your ball? He called it his ball.
At one point through this event. And again, similar to the first stream, I really thought DDG was just doing this for content, which, to be completely fair, I guess he still could be, but I don't know. It's looking more and more like there's actually something to it. Anyway, fast forward, AMP throws their big pool party. I'm not sure if it's an annual thing, but they've done it before. And of course, DDG and India Love were both invited to this party. Now, I don't actually know if they pulled up together or not, but I do know it was definitely clips of India, you feel me, throwing it back on DDG at the party, which was to be expected because they had did all this content together. But what a lot of people did not expect was for India to also throw it on the demigod named Duke. Now, I watched Duke's vlog of this pool party, and I don't think he was actually that worried about India. It seemed like every girl there was literally overly going for Duke. Like, I can't believe y'all. Like, can y'all have some respect for yourself, just throwing yourself at this man? I know it sounds like I'm hating and I'm jealous, and I probably am. I'm just joking. Get your shine on, player. When I seen this clip, bro, I feel so bad for DDG, because I ain't gonna lie, this man had took her on dates on stream and all type of stuff. And of course, to a certain extent, the things they have done everything was for content, so he does get some type of benefit from that. But it just seemed like he was just putting so much effort into stuff just for Duke to come and sweep in and just steal his ball. Now, if you actually paid attention to the clip, it was clear that India was on some of the funky juice, so I don't know if she was making a lot of decisions in the right mind or really thinking about what she was doing. But whenever she did come to the right mind, she did clarify and say that I'm single, I can do whatever I want.
Y'all better believe I'm going to go up. Okay, I'm gonna live. Okay, I'm going to dance wherever, however I want to dance. I am a single woman. I can do that. I love to dance. Everybody who knows me knows I love to dance. You know, straight like that. And
usually I'll be very critical of this type of behavior, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big of a deal. I feel like it kind of was blown out of proportion. It'd be one thing if she was trying to, you feel me, overly trying to go with Duke somewhere or do something. But in reality, dancing with somebody at a party is not really that deep. Nah, obviously, if it was actually like DDG's girl, it would be quite insane. If it was my girl and she did what India did at a party, she wouldn't be moonwalking in Calabasas. She's definitely moonwalking in heaven, my boy. Anyway, I digress. DDG didn't see the stun on it. And actually, I think he got danced on by another girl at this party as well. So even if he was mad, who is he to actually judge if he did the exact same thing? Even after this, DDG and India Love ended up reuniting again. And it seemed like things were going well. DDG took her on more dates, which I guess you're a real trooper, DDG, because you were really committed to getting this ball. You wanted this ball to be yours. And I must say, it was an amazing comeback because it looked like you was down, my boy. You looked like you was down about 3-1. Considering she danced on you, I'd say like 3-2, but you was definitely kind of down. And the only reason he was down is, like I said before, he seemed like he was putting so much more effort than Duke. Then Duke walks in the room and he gets the exact same treatment as you. That is not a good look for you, bro. Thinking about it, it's kind of funny that India Love got mixed up with these two individuals, considering they both have scandals right now. I don't want to really talk about DDGs that much because there's a Halle Bailey situation. I think there's an open thing, and I'm sure it's probably a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know about it. But outside looking in, it does look to be a wild situation. But truth be told, I don't really know what's going on with it, so I don't really want to speak on it or have an opinion about it. The Duke situation is a little bit more open because he confirmed it. He confirmed about the kid thing. And obviously, we don't know if he's actually a good dad or not. But like I said in my previous video, acting like you don't have kids as a 31-year-old man can be a little strange to me. But I understand where he was coming from if he truly wanted the world not to see them. India Love must really have a thing for dudes with scandals or just stuff that's fun. She's been doing this since she came out too. I remember when she was 18 and she was playing Hide the Finger with Game. Let's not talk about that though. Anyway, the latest update in this is that DDG and India Love recently went to streamer prom. And I ain't gonna lie, they was stepping. They put that joint on for sure. So y'all definitely did y'all thing with that. From the stream side, it looked more like their usual content, more like they feeling each other, but you don't really know what's like going on from it. But what I found to be the most interesting from this whole ordeal is that DDG posted this picture on his Instagram. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this looks like to be a man who is having a ball. And if DDG is anything like me, no girl that I don't like is making my Instagram, especially not in no dedicated posts. But DDG is a lot bigger than me, and maybe he doesn't really care like that. But considering his situation too, I think he thought about it a lot before he posted his pictures. So I feel like there's really something real to it. And considering obviously he had a conversation with her before he posted these pictures, I think it's safe to say that DDG might have pulled the upset in Game 7. I said Game 5 earlier, but I guess it's more like Game 7 because it's been going on a while. If it is real, all I can do is wish DDG the best. I hope it's actually a good relationship. I know people talk about India Love a lot and talked about the fact that she's passed around and she's been with several different people, but y'all gotta realize India Love is like 29. Of course, she's been with more than one person. I feel like by 29, you are granted that leniency. The only difference between India Love and a regular person was just that how relationships were documented. Because a lot of y'all same dudes or girls, if they pulled up your jacket, they put up your history, you're gonna be looking crazy out here, boy. So don't feel like you have the right to judge celebrity. Anyway, like I said, I wish them the best if that's a real relationship. If it's not, great content. You made me make a video about it. And as far as Duke, I just feel like Duke is just going to continue being Duke. But hopefully he does not make any more children in the process. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Watch some of my other videos. I think you'll like them. Thank you for tuning in to this one. See you next time.